secret now. I see dead people.
Welcome to Blondes and Booze. You are about to embark on a journey, one that often leads to more questions than answers. But fear not, your host, Krista, Aaron, and Brandy have the experience, the perseverance, and yes, even the gifts to pull back the veil and allow us to glimpse the other side. They will share not only their experiences, but will introduce you to world-renowned researchers and experiencers to help you find answers in the murky waters of what we call the paranormal. Their bonds with each other reach far beyond friendship, resulting in a pull no punches approach to the many subjects they explore. Their goal? To open eyes, hearts, and even minds to what lies on the other side, and the answers residing there.
Hey everybody, welcome.
Hello, welcome.
And Brandy, you are coming in good and clear tonight.
I know. I'm glad that, that you told me about that, because Google seems to be my problem.
Yeah, that's what Rob was told. And I'm like, well, you have nothing to lose by trying it, right?
Right. So let's just see if this works.
Yeah.
Because I'm
You're not
excited.
lagging or nothing.
I'm like, maybe I'll get back in my office.
Yeah, you just might. Because for a long time, you did fine in there, and then all at once it just cracked.
Right.
So, who knows?
Well, hopefully this will work out.
Yeah. What have you been up to this week?
Well, I got to tell you about my day. It started off really wild, okay, because we had a big thunderstorm. Now, this was like at 2:30, about 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. And next thing you know, that there was this big bolt of lightning. And I mean, I have darkening curtains, the blackout curtains. And I mean, it lit up the sky. And it was so close that you could hear it actually. It sounded like electrical wires going, zzz, you could feel it. And I'm like, oh my goodness, wow.
Oh, wow.
So, I'm like, okay. So finally, it eventually, went away. And then I went to sleep. Well, I only had to wake up like 30 minutes later. And I got up, got ready for work. I was out the door a little after 4 a.m. and I looked down the street, and the abandoned house, which is, about a quarter mile, was on fire, completely on fire. I mean, just a blaze. And I think that's what it hit, because I mean, actually, there's no electricity running to the house, I mean, unless there was a squatter. We know how that goes sometimes.
Right.
But I live too far out for squatters. They're going to be a hard way to go out here. So I don't think it was that,
Well, and they would be seen anyway, because I've been to your house and it's open fields.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you would see that.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's creepy.
And, and I just woke up and this house was just ablaze. I was like,
so it's an empty house?
Yes. It was abandoned. I'm not going to say that I'm not sorry to see it go. It was a little bit of an eyesore.
I hear you.
But that was just something this morning. I was like, well, what a way to start a day,
Right.
But that's how my day went,
Gotcha.
Pretty much all like that.
Yeah,
Expected. Yeah, that's what I got.
I was off work today, and I got to tell you, so Brandy knows, and I haven't shared it out with chat, but my daughter is pregnant, and she is due not until the end of the month. However, she's not going to make it. She's already, yesterday she was doing the cramping and the whole 9 yards. So I honestly, my gut is telling me it's going to be this weekend. So, and she's miserable. So, anybody out there that prays, send my daughter some good vibes so we get this baby out this weekend.
Tell her, go ride a horse.
Yeah.
Go
Well, I
ride a
sent her
horse.
a video. I sent her a funny video. It was a lady who was at the hospital in labor, and it was funny. It was a TikTok video, and her and her doctor and nurses, they started twerking, and it made her water break. So I sent that to her. I'm like, hey, do this.
Oh, well, hey, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that works.
Yeah. So they're saying the baby is she's not due, like I said, until August 29th. However, the baby is 7 pounds. So
Wow. No,
she
she's
needs,
too little. She's so little. No,
she,
that's no.
yeah. So anyway, I have reached out to BMR. I talked to him today. If for some reason I can't do the show tomorrow night with you, he will be here. So
Oh, God bless
just
her
in
heart.
case.
Tell her we
Just
said good luck.
yeah, no kidding. So thank you for all the congratulations. I appreciate that. But let's go ahead and bring our guest up. Or no, Brandy, tell everybody what to watch. Then we'll bring our guest up.
Okay. On Monday at 8 p.m. Central, it's Texas Front Porch with Tex and myself. Remember to go to each and everyone's channel because we no longer simulcast. Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central, it's Bob Van Buren with the Van Buren Variety. At 8 p.m. Central, it's Bigfoot Michigan Rob with Beyond BMR. On Wednesdays, now this is at 11 p.m. Central. I've got this straight this time. For right now, it is 11 p.m. Central. Is Danielle Diva in the Diva Dimension. On Thursday at 12 p.m. Central, it is Bigfoot Michigan Rob with Brunch with Bigfoot Michigan Rob with his lovely co-host Krista. On Thursday nights, of course, here we are at 8 p.m. Central. It's Blondes and Booze. And if you want a little more Blondes and Booze with some more woo, check us out on Fridays at 8 p.m. Central. On Saturday, 2 p.m. Central, Tex and Danielle Diva drop their newest episode of Infamous Minds. And don't forget, Jason McLean is still out there. He is dropping new episodes all the time on his very own channel. So make sure you get over there to Jason McLean Questions Everything.
Perfect. All right. I'm not going to waste any time here. Hey, guys.
Let's waste time. Let's waste
Hi,
time.
everyone.
Come on.
Hi, everyone.
I'm like, here, let's waste some time. Come on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we
Oh,
appreciate
you're
you guys
welcome.
coming on for sure. For sure. I met you guys through Gerald. You did Rob's show. It was a brunch.
Yep.
And we talked about UFOs and all that good stuff that day.
Yeah, we got into portals and UFOs and all kinds of stuff that day. That's usually what all our shows are. We start off on one thing and somehow we end up going off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of how we roll too. We are totally not scripted, and we just go by the seat of our pants, and whatever rabbit hole we want to go down, we're going to go down.
Yeah, exactly. So everybody in chat, if you got a question, doesn't matter what it is, throw it out there.
Yep. That's it. And so there's a couple of things I want to talk to you guys tonight about, everything from paranormal to Bigfoot. But Jane, the singing bowls. Brandy has a singing bowl, and we used it at the Land Between the Lakes several times. And you want to talk about that, Brandy, real quick and get Jane's perspective?
I have had seriously good luck, whether it be paranormal or cryptid. But when I use the singing bowl, I tell you what, I get a response. And it might not be immediate, but it really does seem to help. And there are a few people like War Criminal 7. He was with us. We were at the LBL. I used the singing bowl because he wanted me to. So I used the singing bowl and everything else. And he's like, I can feel that vibration from my head to my toes.
Well, we used it twice there.
Yeah.
2 different times.
Yeah, but this is the second time. The second time he said, I can feel that from my head to my toes. Well, it ended up later that night that he had a dogman encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
The first time I used it, everybody was having orb encounters. And that was really strange. So, I mean, like I said, there is something about that vibration. Um, and I know you know that the three of us have talked about it. Um, but what megahertz do you think works best when you're using it to, to raise the vibration or to get some kind of response?
Well, I know with tuning forks, the 528 and the 432 are the best, but with singing bowls, especially with the seven metal ones, they're all different hertz. I've tried so many different singing bowls in the backyard. And yes, I'm getting responses not just with singing bowls, but with the Native American drums. I did a video about a month ago, and I just clicked record and I just filmed the sky. In the background, I'm doing the drums. All of a sudden, there's a few of them coming in during that time while I'm playing drums. So
Wow.
yeah, this summer I'm experimenting with, just different tuning forks, singing bowls. I'm doing flutes and drums. I'm just not sure what exactly is drawing it in, but I do feel that when I do the singing bowls, it's bringing in all kinds of different things. So, yeah, there is definitely something with, because those vibrations shoot out who knows how far.
Right. Well,
Exactly.
that's the thing. When she did it the first time at the LBL, we actually seen some kind of creature peering out of behind the trees, and then we all seen orbs throughout the whole evening, different colors, different sizes. That was the first time, and then the second time, as Brandy said, War Criminal had that Dogman encounter. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I don't know. It was just, it was odd.
Yeah, we watched that video of you guys out there live with the thing peering behind the tree. But if you figure a dog man, if it is related to the canine, think of a dog whistle, that we don't necessarily hear it, but they have that attuned hearing. So we don't know how far, like Jane said, the frequency actually travels and goes out. And I don't even know, maybe it even irritates them. Maybe that's why they're coming around, because they say that's what happens with the dog whistle. They don't really like it. It irritates them.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Makes total sense. Yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of odd, and it's a cool tool to use to experiment with. Brandy, we need to use that at the cemetery next time.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
we do. Yeah, we do. Absolutely. Because we had experiences there anyway. But can you imagine if we amplified that out there to see what would happen? Yeah, we
Right.
need to. We need to.
And the frequency and vibration, it might travel through piercing the veil or to the other dimension. We don't know that either. So if you concentrate, they say if you read the names and dates off the tombstone, you attract them anyway. So then if you got that vibration, maybe that'll attract them even more.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. Something to try, Brandy.
That reminds me of,
absolutely.
people are hearing sounds up in the sky the last several years, like trumpets and scraping and noises. And some people are wondering, is that sounds coming from other dimensions into ours? Well, how do we know that the singing bowls aren't going through the other dimensions also?
Yeah, that's true. Very, very true.
Yeah. I always thought about that. I'm like, well, how far will the sound travel?
Yeah.
How far will it travel? And, because we always talk about that people are like a lightning rod, like they're the ones that attract. It's like if that certain person's around, they're always attracting something. And I'm wondering if using that actually makes our vibrations, I don't know, kind of explode. I want to say explode within us, which puts it out there, and it just makes it all that more, better when you're trying to find something, see something, or get evidence. I
would feel that if you're concentrating and sending out your vibration or your good thoughts, trying to attract whatever, it's UFOs, orbs, dogman, whatever.
Right.
If you're using that tool, say the singing bowl, and you're sending out waves, there's nothing saying that your thoughts don't travel along with those waves and penetrate farther out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Like World with Purpose that's considered that a whale can hear a sound underwater 10 miles away. Wow.
Yeah, and if you can just meditate in the backyard and just focus on your own energy and bring things in, If you're
Mhm.
using a tool, yeah, like Brandy was saying, you're adding to it. You're using your energy plus the frequency and energy from that singing bowl. And it's like a
Mhm.
double whammy getting sent out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's kind of like an explosion. It's just
Yeah.
like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. We have some projects going on next year at the LBL, and so maybe Brandy, you and I need to make a trip over there beforehand and practice with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the thing is I wanted to get one because the one that I have is small. It's just I carry that one because it's easy to get around. I can just throw it in my backpack and go. But I'm looking for one maybe a little bit deeper with a deeper sound, something a little bit louder that perhaps we can amplify, you know, that vibration just a little bit more. I'm gonna have to look into that. So I guess, Jane, that I'm gonna be getting a hold of you to find out where I can get one like that.
Well, I was just gonna say, private message me. I do have extra singing bowls.
Okay. All right.
So
Yeah.
we'll work a deal out behind the scenes.
Because I love them. I sit at home and I just play with them. You're just sitting there and you just start playing with them, and I love them.
Oh yeah, they're great. I mean, not only does it help raise your vibration, which
Mhm.
ultimately maybe that's what attracts the orbs or the dogmen or a UFO sighting is that your vibration's raising with the meditation and the singing bowl relaxing you and raising your vibration.
Yeah. Well, Jane,
Yeah.
that was something I've always meant to ask you. Have you tried a Tibetan water bowl?
Now, are you talking about putting water in a singing bowl? Or are you talking about?
With the two
It's an
handles that
extra.
you
I,
rub.
I have something
It's
that
the one
it's a
you rub.
button. It's got two handles on top.
Yes.
Who you're talking about?
Yep, we have
Yes.
one.
I have one. It's just in the other room, but I
Oh
don't
my
have water in it. I was thinking about doing a video outside in my rock garden with that. I just thought of that the other day. That
Yeah.
shoots up. Okay, so yeah, you're talking about you get your hands wet and you rub the two sides.
Yeah, but you can actually put water in the bowl and
Yep.
it'll
Yes.
create. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. I was wondering because they say that's a little bit harder to use.
It
That
is.
takes some practice.
It does.
And I
Yeah.
mean,
It's
what
a
do you think
it's the
something like
same
that would help?
it's the same principle of getting like a crystal bowl or a glass where you wet your finger and get that rhythm. Just like a singing bowl when you ring the singing bowl.
Yeah.
The two handles are the same way. You got to get the right wetness and start getting that friction going, and it just starts singing. The water starts dancing in the middle of it.
I know.
Wow.
I have been looking at those for years, and I'm like, I need to get one. Yes, there it is. There it is.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Yep.
And I think
Yep.
they might be under Chinese water fountain. I mean, there's different names. I got this one on Amazon.
Who's making them
Yeah,
at the
you
time.
fill it with water, and you have to get your hands wet, and you rub this. Here, you hold this for a second. Yeah, and you just rub the sides, and the water just starts shooting and spouting. So yeah,
Wow.
good idea. I will do a video and put it on Chiro Sounds. I was thinking about doing that for a video this summer.
Awesome.
So do you
I'd love
have
to see
one, or
that.
you've just seen one?
Oh, she's been
I've
wanting
been
to get
wanting
one.
one for a couple years. I just haven't done it.
Growing Old with Purpose asked, I wonder if you can change the tone of a singing bowl by adding water.
Yes, you
Yes.
can. Yes. Yep. I
There you
have
go.
used hot water and put it on people's body, and they can actually feel the heat shooting in when I was doing the singing bowls.
Wow.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just like when you're tuning water glasses. Have you ever seen the videos of they have all the different glasses all the way down? They fill the water to the right level, then it tunes them to whatever frequency or the note you want for that. So you can do the same thing with singing bowls.
Mhm.
There it is, a Chinese spouting bowl. Thank you.
Spouting bowl. Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
That's I had to think about it for a second, but I knew
Yep.
what I was talking about. Just
Yeah, I
about-
saw
Naomi
it in a
to the
shop.
rescue.
They were kind of expensive in the shop, and I went, oh, well, I went on Amazon and I found them a lot cheaper, so I went ahead and got one off of Amazon.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow, good deal. Good deal. Let's get off of singing bowls. Let's go on to UFOs, because I know you guys have had some activity at your place.
And this summer, we're still getting activity.
what happened that made you like freak out? Like, oh my gosh, we got lots of UFO activity. What can you tell us about like the first time you noticed?
Well, we've been here, we're on our 19th year, and I have seen some things before we got married, in the past, that I kind of knew was strange lights. So, we're raising our kids here and we do fire pits in the backyard. I'm always looking up, and I would have been happy if I would have seen a satellite, just something moving, anything.
Right.
For years, there is nothing. And it's probably about the same time I was getting into crystals, singing bowls, raising my vibration, just doing all this. And we ended up getting our night vision binoculars during that time.
Yeah.
That's when we were starting to do orbs and things. And we started noticing moving things. And I went, well, they must be satellites. So we started checking out the apps and this and that. And he'll tell me, hey, there's going to be a satellite coming up in like 15 minutes. So I'm out there looking at the time. And so I can kind of tell what looks like satellites, what's not. Satellites are slow. And then all of a sudden they started fading out on me. And so then we started then that's when we got the psionics camera. And about a week after we got the psionics camera is when I honestly think that I picked up a mothership. And I don't think it was Elon Musk. It was so much lower than any of the trains that we have seen. And then it disappeared over our house. So that's the very first video that we uploaded. That's when we started Midwest Night Watchers. I went, you know what? I'm not putting this on Chiro Sounds. I do have another one. I'm not going to upload it to my other YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So we just started Midwest Night Watchers. And after that, with the psionics, I'm catching things flashing, blinking, powering up, 2, 3 of them. So this was the last few years. But then last summer is when I don't know what happened around the Big Dipper, but it was around this time of year. I'm watching the Big Dipper. It's just now starting to go down about the same spot where it was. So it was between August going into September, about 5 weeks. This was going on total. And at the very beginning, I go with my intuition that, not to use the camera once in a while, just to go out and experience what they want to show me. So I was starting to see these lights come in from the handle, and they would brighten up and then they would dim out. And I'm going, what is that? And they keep coming in, different angles, different directions. So then after 2.5 weeks, I went, that's it. I'm going in, I'm getting my psionics. So I went out, I started filming, but instantly I felt, don't upload them to your channel yet. And I went, okay. So the next several weeks, I was taking 2-3 videos a night. I got like 40 videos. So we ended up uploading 3 of them on our channel. We don't know, but it lasted only an hour. By the time he came home at midnight, they were done. So it was like 10:30 to 11:30. Around that time, they stopped. And then after 5.5 weeks, they stopped doing it also. So the videos that you're seeing tons of activity. Just imagine that for a whole hour. They were just coming in and coming in. I kept watching. They're not coming in from the Big Dipper. They would appear under the handle. And then they would get energy, and then they would disappear when they got in the pan.
Our friend Terry, she's big into the CE5 and that stuff. And she was telling us about people who have seen UFOs come in and out of the Big Dipper.
This summer, I'm seeing, not like last summer, but I am just getting the psionics on a tripod and just hitting record and just letting it go. And then I'm going back and watching. There's still a lot of activity in between the dippers, because they're both right there.
Right.
There is definitely something that is over there. I mean, I don't know if it's a portal, stargates, or what, but that's the only thing I can think of last summer is what would do this for an hour for about 5 or 6 weeks and then stop. And it was just strange. But yeah, even this summer, just watching the skies, I like the Milky Way. That's one of the areas that I shine because there's all kinds of little zips and meteors and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I've been focusing on the Big Dipper again this summer.
Wow. So I'm new to this. I just bought me a laser. That's like my new thing now. I
love lasers.
And do that thing, but what really made me, I had no idea that they were stars, that you do.
Yeah.
It just looked like stars to me until you start seeing like these lights were coming out of like this big star and it was blinking back at us. And it's like,
Yeah.
holy cow. So again, I was with Terry and she said it's, that's probably the mothership and others were coming out of it, because we've seen 4 or 5 of them
Yeah.
come out of it. So that was pretty crazy. That was quite impressive. And then actually Marty, the Nana boss, was here at my house. And one night we went out in my front yard here and was doing the same thing. And we had something right there. I mean, it was a lot closer than it looked than a star. And then it just, well, she's in chat now, but it just like disappeared on us. And we're right out here in my front yard.
They disappear on me a lot, and I'm not sure why. Some of them will brighten. I've seen some huge power ups that you can just see it glisten and then go back down to that star shape.
Yeah.
Other ones, you're doing the laser light and they just fade out and they're gone. You can't even see them on the Psionics camera. They're gone. So
Yeah.
I always wonder if they're bad people, the bad ones, they're picking up our energy and they're the ones that fade out. The ones that to me blink and flash, I'm talking bright flashes. It's just like you're saying, hi, we're here.
Yeah, that's what it was like the first time I did this with Terry. And I mean, it was obvious that there was, it wasn't, that's why I tell everybody stars twinkle, but this was not a twinkle. This was a light, this was communication. So that was really cool.
Nothing powers up. I mean, when you see it, from a tiny little star and it goes up and it just glistens and powers and then goes back down, that's not a satellite hitting the sun or anything.
Yeah.
So if you get an app for like Star Walk or what do I see in my sky tonight, any of those, those show you all the stars and the constellations. But then you look up and all of a sudden you say, well, that's not on our map. So then you start focusing on it, and just like you said, if you shine a laser at it, then sometimes they're like gone. It's like all this time, you think there's a star in the constellation, but this is really something just sitting there waiting. See if anybody notices them, I guess.
And then there's several times, I mean, we can see the dippers perfectly and the W, which is Cassiopeia. So when you're looking up, you finally realize your brain will go, there's an extra star there. There's an extra light. Because what you're kind of looking at going back and forth. So, and there's so many times that you see a bright light, you look over, it's real bright and it just fades out and it's gone. It's not moving. That has happened a lot the last several years. He finally started seeing them last summer too. I'm going, okay, I'm not crazy then. It's like a Stargate or a portal, something bright, and then it's gone. And I'm going, what is that?
Right.
Oh, I am crazy. I know.
We're all crazy. Just what level, I guess.
But we all wouldn't be here if we weren't, right?
It just seems like the activity is increasing. More people are seeing them. And you can kind of spot what's a satellite and what's not. Oh
yeah. And it was super. The first one that I saw, it was doing even some zigzags out there in the sky and stuff, and that was cool because stars don't zigzag.
No,
right.
No,
and something else is cool when you see 2 of them moving and one kind of brightens up a little bit. Well, satellite wouldn't do that to another satellite.
Right. Yeah.
We've caught them flying all different directions. I mean, you'll get used to the satellites going their certain paths, whichever way. Then all of a sudden there's like one going opposite and they look like they're going to hit, then they're like going off in their different directions. I mean, it's like, all right, that's not a satellite path, whatever that other one was.
Right.
Well, and keep an eye on airplanes because not with the laser light, of course. But I've been watching airplanes and you will see something flying next to it. Or on the other side, or going in front or behind, and then brighten a little bit and go down. I know darn well they're messing with those pilots.
Wow. Yeah. And you don't hear too much about that, do you?
Right. No. And no, I haven't seen anything super low. That mothership was kind of low. If it was a mothership, I really don't think it's Elon Musk because James from Isetti Ranch out in Washington, he filmed the exact same thing like 3 or 4 days before. So if it was Elon Musk, it would have been separating even more by then.
Yeah.
Then we had Tyler from
Journey to Truth.
Journey to Truth. We sent the video to him, and he confirmed that it looked exactly like the 3 days earlier that James had. And so he did a comparison of the two in a little short video for us of it. And
And
You,
there's
you can just tell that the angle's
Yeah,
wrong for
it was at a-
Starlink.
yeah,
and it-
Starlink goes, follows each other. This was at an angle like geese. And then you can see my tree in the backyard and then it just disappears right over our house. So I
Wow.
know I've seen the train before. You'll see one appear and then they do kind of fade out little by little when they're
Mhm.
following each other. Now this thing just disappeared. So that was the lowest I've ever seen. To me, if you see something super low, it's probably our government or something from this earth. What I've been seeing is tiny little lights the same size as stars. And some people might make fun, like, oh, that's not proof. You're just seeing little lights up there. Well, they're saying hi to me and interacting and doing strange things. So I don't think satellites are up there that far.
Yeah.
then once we got our night vision, you start seeing a whole bunch of more stars and stuff that you
Mhm.
can't normally see with your naked eye. Then all of a sudden you start seeing little tiny ones, even beyond the stars.
Yeah.
I mean, they look like they're way farther out than the stars, even just kind of zipping by. It's like, all right, there's no way satellites pass the stars.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy stuff, I mean, like I said, I've started out with the paranormal years ago, then got into the cryptids. Now this UFO thing's new for me. So
I think it's all
She may be
connected.
hooked on this now. I'm gonna have to
It's
buy a
just-
lawn
it's just like-
chair.
It's just like everything else in all the fields, whether you're a Bigfoot, dogman, orb, UFOs, whatever you're into, paranormal. As long as your intentions are good, that you're not trying to hurt them or
Mhm.
capture them or
Mhm.
do anything mischievous. That they know the vibrations, they know what's good, and they'll come and they'll flash at you. You'll ask them to, and they'll flash. And
Mhm.
Well, they know when you have a camera. I have better activity when there's no camera, no laser light, nothing. And that's when you see the power ups and the bright flashes. And I can't explain it. There was one time I saw this. It was teeny tiny. It was very faint. I could barely see it. It was coming over our house, going west, actually.
Mhm.
So that's a totally different direction. And then I would lose it a little bit. And then I would say, okay, there it is. I see it. I see it. When it was right above me, that thing just got super bright. It didn't power up. It was like a flashlight turning on high beam. Super
wow.
bright. And then faded down to this tiny little thing and kept on going until I couldn't see it. What was that?
Right.
And I,
Right.
gee, thanks. I don't have my psionics, so somebody has to believe my word of mouth. But
Right.
it's a great experience. And I just know that people need to go out there more than just 5 minutes smoking a
Mhm.
cigarette going, well, I don't see anything, and go back inside. They
Right.
know your intentions.
Yeah. Brandy, I'm going to bring you to the dark side.
Yeah, I was really thinking about it. I'm about to buy one of those like lounge chairs and the
Mhm.
ones I can fold up, and then you can just take me out and I'll get my little sleeping bag and we'll just hang out there and I'll let you play through laser all night.
we started out in gravity chairs so we didn't hurt our
Yeah.
back.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah. There we go. I'll just have my sleeping bag. We'll be good to go.
Yeah.
We'll be seeing the force is strong with this one here pretty soon.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, you guys have a lot of interesting things that happen around your place.
Oh, it's our live shows have been crazy. We were in the
Yeah.
other room, where she's got all of her crystals and everything set up. Not that we don't have them here. I mean, as you
Yeah,
can
there's
see.
crystals all over here too.
But when I started doing William Saturday morning shows with Tim and Dennis, all of a sudden somebody in the chat, I don't know if it was Rocky or Susie B, started calling them woo feathers. We have a picture of a gun, an old West gun, hanging on the wall like it was in a saloon or whatever. And all of a sudden, this little thing just floats out and goes up, and it comes zipping right behind my head, and then it's gone. Like,
Is that the
7
video
shows
you
in a
sent me?
row.
Huh?
That's one of the videos you sent me, correct?
Yes, it is.
I'm
Well,
going to go ahead and play that. Well,
Well,
go ahead,
the funny
Brandy.
thing is that I was actually watching the show when that happened. So yeah, and then and something happened the next show. I was just like, what in the heck is going on?
It happened for several weeks and then it kind of stopped. We haven't had anything for a few weeks.
Wow. I'm gonna play that video real quick, if you guys
Okay.
don't mind. And that way chat can see this too. All right, here we go. There, you're slowly seeing it appear.
Yeah, if you watch by the gun, the picture of the gun in the back, It
And there it
goes,
is right
there
there.
it is. And then it goes back down. Yeah, it goes up and goes back down.
And,
It
and
amazes me.
Yeah,
before every show, I started checking all the crystals and the pictures to make sure there's no cobweb, no hairs, anything. I mean, there was nothing anywhere, and I couldn't even find it after the fact. I knew it went back here to the chair or wherever. I couldn't find anything. I mean, it's just driving me crazy.
We have no
Did you
ceiling
feel
fan.
anything?
No,
No.
No.
I didn't even
know
notice it
what's
till
happening.
people in chat or Jane says, "Hey, I think I just saw
Yeah.
something behind your head."
So that one was after Steve Stockton. He was talking about fairies and fays and all the elementals. And then he left the show and we were finishing up. And I just went, I think I just saw something go behind your head.
Wow.
And then every time we talked about it, and you guys were on our show. Actually, I think there's one that happened during your show.
Yeah.
You were on our show. And
Yeah.
we never did break that one down. And it was happening for a few weeks. And then it just kind of suddenly stopped.
Then we were on with Brandy and Jason waiting for Tex to come on. Then Tex started breaking it down, slowing it down. Then it happened again while we were investigating
Yeah.
the previous show.
I was
Right.
asked to play it again. People in chat want to see it again, so I'm gonna play it.
Absolutely. It's
We
a,
just
it's a
haven't been
good
able to
piece
debunk
here.
Okay, so watch
Watch
above the gun,
it.
everybody.
Yeah, watch by his head in the
There
gun
it-
picture.
it
You're seeing it
appears.
go up to the corner of the picture. Now you see it come down. And then it's going right back to him and back down.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
Now we got videos that little white orbs come out of the brown quilt, out of the black quilt.
Yeah.
The feather comes out of the clock.
Yeah, they like the clock too. So it's not just the gun picture. A lot of people thought it was the gun, but it comes out of the quilt and the clock, just that whole area. But we also noticed that back area where we painted, the green wall. You can see like glitchy movement, like something's kind of cloaked back there or something.
So, do you guys have any like paranormal activity that goes on in your house?
That's what everyone asks us. We've never have. I mean, I've had, like I felt family, this and that, but any tricksters, slamming doors, this and that.
No poltergeists of slamming doors or anything like that, or
Not in
holding
the
door. I
house.
mean, Brandy, holding doors on you where you can't open them. I mean,
Right.
we haven't had any of that. It's all been good feelings here, as far as that goes, and we don't feel an evil presence or malevolent or anything.
But
Yeah.
we were having some activity out in my barn about that same time. We have there's 5 lights out there. The single light in the middle is on its own switch. And then the outside 4 is on a different switch. I had 3 different lights that would blink on and off with me, kind of like a REM pod. And it started when I was over there by the animal feed, and the light above me kept blinking. And I put my hand up and I went, okay, turn the light back on, please. The light would go back on. I went, okay. And so this was going on for a few weeks, and then it would be nothing. And then I would leave saying, okay, good night, boys. I love you, telling everybody good night. Then the light above me going out the door would blink on and off, like they were saying, love you. And so then on the far side, all 3 of them, they were interacting. Even if I asked, okay, we'll do this light. Well, then about the same time, his nephew came, graded our driveway. We had the doors open, making a bunch of noise. That night we did the goat hooves. That was activity. The next night or next day, we bought 3 baby goats. Ever since then, everything stopped. I mean, it stopped. And
Wow.
well, no, it didn't. Wait. What happened was after we got the goats, I went out there, those 3 lights dimmed down. And they weren't turning on. One was totally off and the other ones were kind of faded, right?
Right.
It's like they sucked up all the energy out of those light bulbs, and it's just like boom, all 3 of them didn't work anymore. He had to go out and replace the light bulbs. Nothing's happened since. So that's the barn. I don't know if they were coming in the basement, if it was that glitchy behind us. I don't know. I wish we could figure it out.
Well, Rock and Rory was asking, have you noticed anything missing or being moved at all? I mean,
Not lately.
Not that I know of.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
That's what I don't understand. You would think, if paranormal or phase, you know, they were tricksters, you know, that they would take, you know, car keys or move something out of place. And I usually notice stuff, you know, out of place pretty fast, usually. And we haven't noticed anything.
Right.
The only thing we notice is when people tell us in chat that something's happening behind us, or Jane experiences lights, or the animals act
Yeah,
weird.
the animals act weird once in a while.
You know, you're trying to feed them, then all of a sudden they don't care about the feed no more. And they're just kind of looking off in the corner like they're looking at something. So it's like, all right, what's going on, guys?
Yeah. Well, I definitely believe that animals can see what we can't. You know, they're more aware than what we are.
Well, when they were acting up, that was during the day. So skunks aren't awake yet trying to get out of the barn, because once in a while they'll get underneath the double doors. And so I even went over there looking around going, you guys, there's nothing over here. Why don't you want food? And they're just staring off in the corner. Normally they're chasing me. They're circling me. They want their food. They knock it out of the scoop. I mean, that's all they want is their food. Not during that time. That was last fall. And they acted like something was in there. And then Robin McCrae did verify that they were out there and they liked my chicken eggs.
Huh. Interesting. That's crazy stuff. Wow. What was that, Brandy?
I said, just soaked it all in. I'm like, okay.
Right.
You know, because once somebody's telling me stories like that, I don't mean to be quiet. It's just this twist around in my head, like, okay, what is the explanation, or what could be the explanation, or you know, I
know. I mean, believe me, we've sat here and talked amongst ourselves and watched the videos over and over. Like, okay, what could it be? What, you know, this is a natural occurrence. What could cause this? And we can't figure it out. And
well, we have debunked a couple of them. So there was one time at the beginning of our shows, I was actually behind me. I was in this room over here. Gerald was over there where we would see the woo feathers. Oh shoot, I just now lost my train of thought.
The voice.
Oh yes. We had we thought we heard something going, or young. Now I was thinking, what was that? You know, and so somebody made a comment too. I go back and we're talking about the woo feathers, and a comment came up and said old man and young boy. I look at my lips and I'm going, I'm reading the comments and I'm going, okay. I debunked that one.
Yeah.
So that was me whispering the comment.
Yeah.
You know,
Rock and Rory asked
I'll tell people, you know, I don't want to mislead anybody. If we can debunk it, we're going to debunk it.
Yep, that's us too. Yep, absolutely. Rock and Rory asked, any little gifts left?
Yeah. 2 years ago, in the cornfield, we're connected. Well, there's 7 houses on this street. We're all connected to a 50-acre cornfield. There's like 7 houses of our backyard. So I like making mazes. I like going in there and just kind of playing around. And we took the grandkids in that year, and they were really young and little, so they weren't in the cornfield by themselves. But then after they left, he was in the cornfield, and he went, hey, I want to show you something. And we go in there. Off the maze just a little bit, like 3 or 4 rows in, we had a perfect circle of white rocks.
Oh,
now,
wow.
with the farmer planting and tilling and stuff, you'd make a mess and everything. So the corn was already up. And I went, at first I kind of felt spooked, but then the next day I went out and I looked at it again. I grabbed all of them, just added to my rock garden. Now, last year we had beans. This year we've got corn again. We've had a lot of rain. Well, we had a drought for a while and then a lot of rain. I'm going in the same few rows, getting leaves and stuff for the goats. I'm finding white rocks. They're just kind of sitting there in the rows, not muddy underneath, like they were embedded into the mud. And they're white rocks, and they're not polished. But I'm kind of thinking, okay, I don't think that was there before either. I'm collecting every single rock that I'm finding that's just kind of sitting on top, and I'm bringing it up and putting it in a bucket. Now, those kind of gifts, yes. Now I'm finding a couple. I do have white chickens, but in the goat area, I've been finding some gorgeous, pretty, just white feathers sitting there. Yes, that could have came in through the coop, but I know that they like gifting white feathers.
Oh, wow.
So
when you say they, who are you meaning?
Sasquatch, because we've had some activity, but this summer has been kind of slow. But that's what I'm guessing. So you can just feel their presence. You can tell something's watching you. And ever since the woo feather stopped, the lights, I was hearing a dog on each side of me in the backyard bark one time. Just one time. Bark. I'm going, where's your other bark? And then over here, bark. I'm going, okay. So now that time, I was hearing some strange coyotes. They didn't really sound fully like coyotes, but they were down at the farm, down the road. And then I heard a lower, about a mile up the road. Then these guys stopped. Then shortly after that, everything calmed down, coyotes and everything. I found out from our niece that the farmer down here hired professional coyote killers because I was hearing her donkey going nuts and crazy, like 1 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know if they came, the professional coyote killers and the Sasquatch took off. Things have been quiet ever since. I'm not hearing anything. I'm not sensing anything. It's been quiet this past month.
Because it's weird. Yeah. It's weird when in our neighborhood anyway. We got a lot of farms around us. Then we got, then we're the rest of the town. We have houses in front of us. You'll hear their dogs bark, and they'll be barking nonstop. Just like a normal dog. But like Jane said, that night it was just one bark.
Yeah, just bark.
Normally, if they see a cat or a fox or a coon, they just nonstop barking. Like they want to try to get it.
And I also know who has a dog down there. We've got old lady or an old couple next to us. Then we got a field. Then we got a church and a field, and then the farm. On the other side of the street, they have a small little English little bulldog thing. This was a bigger bark. That's the only dog that's down here. On the other side of me, they do have a white husky. That dog, when he barks, it's not just one bark. I mean, it barks and it barks and it barks. Yeah. And so, my gut was telling me that was not a dog. It was like they were mimicking. But like I said, the last few weeks, I've been kind of depressed. Like, okay, it's quiet. Where are you guys? And the only thing I'm seeing is stuff in the sky and orbs. But yeah. But when we got the baby goats, we forgot to tell you that. When we went down and got our baby goats, that was 2 miles north of us. Still in the area, okay? Their horses had fairy knots in them.
Oh, wow.
And we got pictures of them.
Wow.
And so that's not that far away. And they're even closer to the Illinois River. So we do know Sasquatch do like water source.
And I've known that farmer for a long time, whether it's through the fire department or just around town, hanging out, playing basketball in the men's league. And I asked him, I said, hey, what's going on with your horse's mane? And he just had that weird blank stare on his face. Like either he knew or he absolutely had no idea why that braid was in his horse's mane. And then as we were walking away, we noticed the other horse had it too.
Double mane. Then there was a double one going down to a single.
Eventually he just said, oh, I think it was my grandchild did it. Well,
no.
Where that braid was on that horse, it was a full adult horse. A little grandchild isn't going to be able to braid that.
Right.
And that delicate, it was fine. It had the nice tight knot on the bottom with
like dreads.
And it had like a hay or grass tied off to a little knot to keep the hair together. Like
my views on that, I'm still not a full true believer in that, only because I have horses and my horses, one in particular, she gets that all the time. It's the way her mane grows and it kind of curls anyway. And it when she rolls, when she gets up, it happens. I've seen it happen. So not saying it didn't happen, that it wasn't, but the jury in my head is still out on that just because what I've witnessed with my own horses,
Well, from what Robin's said about our area and going out there and experiencing that and the feelings that we've sensed them, we're kind of leaning that way. And I've been out to my grandma and grandpa's farms. Yeah. Both our grandparents had farms. We had horses, and we've seen that, but the way that it was woven and put back together at the bottom and all together, it wasn't like it was like dreadlocks, like a horse would have it all mixed up. These were like almost done on purpose with a design.
And the miniature horses, they had 3 miniature horses and miniature donkeys. None of them had them, and their manes were perfectly fine and combed out. It was the 2 big horses.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
I mean, it could very well be, you know, I don't know. I just, you know, just going by my own encounters with my own horses, you know, I know horses are flight animals, and, you know, I've had my horses in haunted locations, and I actually watched a documentary not that long ago, and they were showing a horse in a real squatchy area, and it was, you know, wanting to flee. And so like my personal horses, I mean, they would be gone. Like they're skittish. So
yeah.
I guess that, you know, parts of me think, and I'm not saying it didn't happen, so don't take this in the wrong way.
Or
you know?
not.
It's just my own thoughts. You know, my horses would not let a Sasquatch near it. I know for a fact. They're just flight animals are spooky, you know, and the one that it happens to, she's afraid of everything, you know, she's jumps at every little thing. So I don't know. But again, I did go to the Sasquatch Museum over in Colorado, in Bailey, Colorado, and they had some of those in there, and they were interesting. I got to say, you know, they were interesting.
Well, we're at 51 minutes right now.
Oh, wow.
I know that went by so fast.
Yeah, it did.
But we're gonna have to take a 5-minute break here, and
Yeah.
when we come back, you know, I want to talk about, because your experiences have been, like, I don't know, quiet. They've been real quiet this summer. I want to talk about how possibly what's going on in the environment may be the cause of it, such as the heat or the droughts or anything like that. So we'll talk about that when we come back.
And we also have videos that you guys sent and some pictures too to show you. So yeah, everybody stay tuned, and we will be right back in 5 minutes.
Four minutes to go, folks. 4 minutes. Three minutes. We're almost there. 2-minute warning, guys. 2-minute warning. One minute. 1 minute.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking around.
Or coming in, whatever you're doing.
Coming in hot.
Going. Welcome.
I just want to remind everybody that Super Chat is now open. Super Stickers are now open. So feel free.
Yep.
We're excited about it.
But if not, just like it and share us out. We appreciate that too.
Do it too. Hey, yeah, because we're so close to our 1,000 subscriber milestone. It's getting exciting.
Wow.
We're
That's
down to the
awesome.
wire. Yeah, because
That's
we're going
awesome.
to the Dogman conference now. This is what, less than a month now. It's less than a month away.
Yep. And there's the speaker lineup, and it's a great speaker lineup. So definitely come and see the great lineup of speakers. I do believe there are tickets still on sale, and they are on sale through Eventbrite.
Oh, look at Maggie. She jumps right in there. Love you, girl.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
You know, and it's just like we're hoping to reach our 1,000 subscriber mark by then. So we've got 1 month, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. That's our mission. We're gonna do it.
Yep. So we
I
appreciate
don't know
everybody.
I don't know what that's like. We're just excited to have the 360 subscribers we have.
We'll get there. We started out there too.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate you guys.
Hey, it's been now, Gerald, it's a long time. It's been hard. I'm not lying. I've stood on my feet for many hours talking to people. Hey, when we were at the Bigfoot conference in Gatlinburg, I was actually pulling people out as they're walking by, going, "Hi," you know, and grabbing them and making them stand and talk to me for a while. So
true story. She was.
Give them the old hard sell.
Yeah. Well, see, when we go to conferences, we don't give it anything. You know, we're not selling anything. Brandy and I aren't. Thank you, Vixen. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Vixen.
We put everybody who shows us that they subscribe to us, and their name goes in for a drawing, and then we give something away. Like this last conference, we gave away a Bigfoot blanket. We gave away some Bigfoot signs. You know, things like that. So. You know, we want the subscribers. That's our main goal. So
yeah. And I just got my new arsenal of giveaways in the mail, and I'm not telling what it is. You'll have to go to the Dogman conference to find out.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And whoever's in chat, and if you guys are going to the Dogman conference, comment. So we know to look you up.
Yeah. So we know to be looking out for you.
Yeah. Larry says, hey, Krista, where is Midwest located just roughly? They're in northern Illinois.
It's actually central Illinois.
Yeah.
Oh, central.
We're a little,
Yeah,
little
more
more northern.
central. Yeah, more northern central.
Yeah. Good deal. Good deal. Yeah, we appreciate all the super chats, guys. Thank you very much.
Did you see what Laura said? She says, see?
Yeah. Laura, you come with us anytime. Open invitation for you. And then the one in October, I think it's the Wild Man one. We're not having a booth there or anything, but we're just going to go hang out with I know Barton Nunley and Martin Groves, and them are going to be there, so we're just going to go hang with them. So anyway, yeah,
Gary and Crystal are going.
cool. That'd be awesome. Awesome to see them. And then Miss Naoma, who we are going to have on tomorrow night, she says, I'm originally from the Quad Cities. Are you anywhere close to that?
We're an hour and a half from the Quad Cities. Yep. My uncle lived over there in the Quad Cities, and I took a lot of trips over there. So yeah, we're an hour and a half from that area.
Awesome.
Really
Hey,
two and a half hours, sometimes close to 3, getting up to Chicago.
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
Larry said he's from Effingham, Illinois.
Effingham's
And we're
down
going
south.
to be, and Blondes and Booze is going to be in Effingham, Illinois, the second weekend in September, I believe. That is going to be at StilCon or
Yeah.
StilCon. So
You
we're
got to
gonna
be careful saying Effingham. You might say a bad word
Yes.
by mistake.
I tried not to right there. I was
Yeah.
like, oh no, watch out.
Paranormal Pixie, if you go to Belvoir Winery, look us up, and I can take you over to the Ray County Museum that we talk about so much. It's not far from there.
Oh yeah. Uh-oh.
Glad to take you over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's back on you guys.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Well, what I was talking about is because, a lot of people are saying that everything's been kind of quiet. And I believe, because we've had such a heat wave,
Yes.
that they're not moving as much. They're just kind of like bedding down somewhere and just lazing around like I have. But also, have you noticed that our waterways and lakes and rivers are so low
Mm-hmm.
that do you think that this has an effect on them, that they're actually moving to maybe, a less populated area? Because I mean, of course, humans are branching out, they're building and da 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 da. Do you think that this is another cause of why we're not seeing so much, is because of all of this?
That's what I was wondering, because we did have some bad storms in the spring, but then our area, we had no rain for 10 weeks. And it was a bad drought. I mean, the grass was all yellow. It was dead, dry. And then about a month ago is when we had several storms and everything is okay. But yeah, we did have very dry. And then since it did rain, yes, we've got 113 heat index last week. And that was the heat index. So yeah, I was wondering if they're not from here and if they could possibly be interdimensional, go in the portals, go back home somewhere. If they don't live in caves, would you want to be here when it's 100, 113 heat index? No, maybe that is what's causing. I didn't realize it was other people too. I knew it was just me and my little clan. So maybe the whole area, Texas on up, has just been too much heat. That makes a lot of sense.
If you read into the Native American stories or hear them talk about, Sasquatch being part of their lives, whether at one time they were enemies and eventually they became friends and actually helped them and stuff with other tribes or other enemies. They migrated with like the Native Americans. They went from one area to another. You spent fall in this area, you spent summer in this area. So it's been said that Sasquatch does that too. Now they don't necessarily go from southern United States all the way up to Canada, but they do migrate. They have their different areas. And So there's two fields of thoughts, whether they're dimensional and they just leave when stuff happens here that they don't want to be a part of, or they migrate like the Native Americans did.
Well, yeah, because and I'm thinking too is because they're having to go out further to hit their water source. Because there's not trees growing up. I mean, the lake beds and everything, they're just showing. They're just showing. So I'm thinking they're having to move out into the open more. So they're trying to get away from more populated areas because they can't stay hidden as well. So you would think that you would think that maybe you would see a little more, but I'm just thinking they're being lazy like me. I mean, we're hibernating during summer.
Well, I noticed that there's a lot less deer. I've been seeing deer last spring, and they were in this field that's connected to our backyard. So I asked him, a couple nights ago, I even asked you, because he has an hour drive home, and it's all country roads. And I said, well, have you been seeing a lot of deer? And he's not seeing as many.
No.
So it's not just the other activity; it's deer also.
Yeah,
so obviously, just like you said, during the heat of the day, whether this heat spell we had where people were getting 103, 90 plus, that you want to reserve your energy. So I imagine they're the same way. And if they're near a water source, they're probably going to stay there and not travel anywhere, and we won't see them at all. So I mean, we have the Illinois River right here. We have all the lake ponds. All the farmers have all these ponds. So I mean, they could just be hunkering down and waiting for it to go by.
Now, my strong activity last year was towards the end of August and September. That's when the barn and stuff like that was happening. So that is cooling off. So maybe here in a few weeks, things will change. Like I said, I feel lonely in the backyard. I don't feel nothing watching me. Even there hasn't even been that many skunks and stuff this year too. Because normally you kind of sense something. I get the flashlight. Sure, it's a possum, skunk, raccoon, something. It's been quiet these last several weeks.
Wow.
And it is odd.
Yeah.
Well, in the spring, Chris and I know the skunks were out. They were out. So,
at the LBL, like the LBL is inundated with skunks where we've stayed twice. And I'm telling you, like, they're not scared of you either. And I see War Criminals in chat, and he goes with us, and I'm telling you, they'll come within 5 feet of you. They have no fear.
Oh, yes. I can't tell you how many times that I am actually kind of closing my eyes, just kind of focusing on the sounds or meditating. And I open up my eyes, and 5 feet away or so is a skunk. And I'm going, get out of here. I'm scaring him. He's scaring me. So, yeah, it's kind of hard to even meditate in the backyard when you got skunks around. But
it's I guess I'm afraid of being sprayed by them. And when even at the LBL, you go out and go to the restroom at night, and there's no restrooms in the cabin. So it's either you walk a bit or you go outside your cabin. And so, you go out. I'm not looking for dogmen and Bigfoot. I'm looking for skunks out there.
Me too. That's snakes.
Yep.
No thank you.
Yep. And War says, I accidentally left an apple pie out there and they were fighting over it. And they sure did. Middle of the night.
Wow.
These War Criminal, they were fighting over baked beans on the fire.
Well, speaking of apples, our neighbor, she don't live there. Long story. But our next door neighbor, she does have an apple tree. And it is loaded. So if there is going to be any activity, it will probably be here in a few weeks when they come up and and the deer will show up too. They like going over there. That's when I had the first snort. Scared me to death a few years ago. I was out there in the backyard and I hear the poof. And I went, what was that? And I have a flashlight with me all the time. And I look over there and sure enough, it was a deer and one of her babies. And she's walking towards the field. And so I guess she was in the backyard getting apples.
Wow.
You won't mistake that sound when they're pounding their hoof on the ground to warn you. Then they give that nostril sound out of them as a warning. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, you're just like, oh no, I'm in trouble.
I hope it's a deer.
Right. Yeah, you hope that it's not like Sasquatch out there mimicking something.
Right.
Like, I hope it's a deer.
We were talking about the weather and stuff, and there were for a while there was people in all fields were saying there was an increase of activity not long ago. You
Yeah.
know, that's all everybody was talking about, whether it was paranormal, Bigfoot, UFO. They said, hey, why is all this activity happening? You know, and you know, and I ran across this video of Dolores Cannon, where she talks about, you know, not only are we raising our frequencies, but what if the earth is going through a change? What if the earth is changing its frequency and vibration, getting ready to go into another dimension itself? And that kind of explains how our timelines get messed up, how our lives get messed up, because we're like a flea on a dog. If the earth is going to change, we either change with it or we're not going.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. Absolutely. You guys sent me some pictures and some video. Do you want to show the pictures first, or do you want to show some video?
Well, the two pictures go together with one of the videos.
Okay.
The daytime pictures of the trees.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and show the one without. I'm going to show you this one.
Okay, so right above the bird feeder, that bunch of trees.
Yep.
I have a video. Hopefully you got it in your email, the one we just sent you.
I did.
That some light just starts appearing kind of towards the left upper area of those trees. Now there's several trees. There's a train track over there. Now the corn is so high, I cannot see the train anymore this summer. So that can show you how high that tree actually is. If I can't see the trains. We don't know if it was a portal or some strange light. It just started glistening and appearing right in the top of those trees. There's no street lights, nothing. So we wanted to go out during the day and take a picture to show you exactly where this area is in the dark video.
Okay. I'm going to go to the next picture here real quick.
And that's the area where we were seeing this strange light come out of the top of the tree.
Okay.
Okay. So the video, which one do you want me to play? Can you read to me what it's called? I have portal and tree, or tree portal zoomed in.
The one that doesn't say zoomed is just the normal video that we shot, and it's a little longer than the zoomed one. I kind of trimmed the other one.
Is that the portal one?
Yeah, one will say tree portal, and one will say tree portal zoomed.
Yes. Which one do you want me to play first? Zoomed or not zoomed?
You can play
either.
You can play the zoomed one if you want. The other one's longer. It depends on how much time you want to.
Yeah, we got time.
Okay.
Put that there.
Okay, and there it is. That's what's coming out of that tree.
Oh, wow.
And it
That's
happened
weird.
for 4 minutes. And then I moved the camera, and I did not know I was filming it. And I moved the camera. So there's 4 minutes of this coming in and out of the top of that tree.
There's a couple of times where it flashes really bright, and you almost see like little lightning in the circle.
Yeah, I think it's coming up right there.
Oh, wow.
It's really bright. And you can see like a little pin light on the inside.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And that's right on top of that tree where we showed the pictures.
And there's there's little trees in front of that tree, and then there's bigger trees behind that tree.
That taller tree is on the other side of the railroad tracks.
Wow.
So there's 3 or 4 trees right there.
That is crazy. I'm going to play that one more time.
And so we uploaded, there's 4 minutes of that. We time stamped it. You can go to that video and watch all 4 minutes of it. It's
okay.
It's bizarre. And I didn't even know I was doing it until I was uploading it. I was trying to find orbs. And then I saw that and I went, what is that?
Right. I'm going to go ahead and play that again. So people that might have missed it, they can see that. Wow.
So we're not really sure what's causing it. I mean, the only thing that comes to our mind is some kind of portal or energy coming up. But I mean, we're not saying that's exactly what it is, but we don't know.
And that's the same tree line that I saw square portal or something a few years ago, and it totally dried out our binoculars, and our binoculars stopped working. So that is the same tree line as the square portal that messed up my ATM binoculars.
Wow. Brandy, what are your thoughts on that?
There's no way somebody's way up there high in that tree.
No.
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know what to say either. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously we draw our own conclusions, you know, and my mind goes towards portal or some kind of energy field opening up.
You know,
Right.
But I
it
can't say that
also
100% definite. You know, how do you know?
Yeah.
And we do know Sasquatches are up in trees, and if they go in and out on portals, that's one thing I thought of. I can't debunk it. I really
know.
don't know what it is.
Anybody that goes to our YouTube channel, watches it, you know, leave
Yeah.
us a comment what you think and some conclusions. I mean, we don't want to lead anybody one way or another.
You know what?
It's very
What comes to
interesting.
mind for me, though, what comes to mind for me is like the Joplin spook light.
Mm.
There's
Oh,
no rhyme or reason for this light,
Yeah,
but
that
it
could
just
be a
happens.
possibility.
It's just
Wow.
out there and it starts shining for no apparent reason. They check for radiation,
Mhm.
gases, anything that you can think of that could explain it. They're not finding any remnants of. And this looks like that type of encounter to me, experience. That's what it looks like to me.
Wow,
Well, it makes
that's
me
interesting.
wonder, is there energy going up and down train tracks?
Could be. Could
There
very
you go.
well.
See,
The train track is right on the other side of that tree.
but
Mhm.
but when you think that if the train tracks were creating that kind of energy, that everybody would see those type of things everywhere.
right.
And how many times
they're
I've had these ATM binoculars for I think 4 years now, and I have done nothing but filming over there just for orbs. I've never
Mhm.
seen anything like that.
Wow. Wow.
Now, how
That's-
far off the ground do you think this actually is? Do you think it's like 15, 20 feet?
Oh, it's got to be higher than that because the corn is probably 9 feet. So you can see the top of the corn, and then I can't see the train anymore. So that's how tall the corn is. I can't see the
Yes.
train going by,
So,
and that
Yeah,
tree is
that light
higher
looks
than
like
that.
so you know how
It's
high a
high.
train engine is compared to us, and then you
Yeah.
add that much more.
Yeah, I'm
to the
guessing
top of that.
I'm guessing maybe 40 feet or so. I mean, I'm 5 feet, so that would be several of me going all the way up there. It's a
Yeah.
pretty good sized tree, and it's pretty far away also. It looks kind of close from our backyard, but it takes a while to walk that field to get over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I didn't know that the corn was 9 feet tall.
Oh yeah, it's good
Oh,
old
it's crazy.
GMO corn.
Oh yeah, GMO corn. Yeah, there's some. I'm seeing 4 ears growing out of some of those. Yeah, you can tell it's GMO. You don't get 4 ears out of a stalk.
Mhm.
Right. 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 All right. Let's go to another video. How about Drunk Orb? Love the name. Love the name. All right.
There it is.
Oh, look at it.
Yeah, that's interesting to me.
So
I'm
we,
gonna play that
so we
again.
don't know what that is either. I mean, obviously we,
Yeah.
as much as we film, you know, we kind of start to get to know what bugs look like,
Yeah.
and you know, we have bats flying around back there, and but
Yeah.
that one's just strange. I don't know what.
That is odd.
I would chuck that in the I don't know file.
Right.
Just, I mean,
And it's got a great name, Drunk Orb. There you
It's
go.
just
Yeah.
fun to look
It's
at. I
like,
don't
who is
know.
this? You know, even it's going. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
I
that
mean,
was
I've
weird.
seen a lot of orbs back there. You'll see them come straight up from the field and then float off, or you'll see them fly and then stop and go straight down. You know, bugs really don't do that either. So,
Yeah.
but that I just kind of like, oh my gosh, it's drunk.
It's drunk. It's having a good time out there.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so the next one is orb collision slow
Oh, yeah.
motion.
I still saw this. You can see that little thing that goes into that orb. It don't go past it. I just realized that this afternoon. You see this little rod, and then that orb just disappears at the end.
Yeah.
You see this rod go into the orb. You don't see it go past it.
Let me play that again.
Yeah. Now watch. It goes boom. It stops. It don't go past
Oh,
It
it.
doesn't.
Now watch the
it
orb.
doesn't. No.
And the orb disappears at the very end over here. And poof, it goes.
Yeah,
Interesting.
because a bug would have continued on. You would have
Yep.
seen it going past.
And I
And
know a
that-
lot of bugs look like rods. I know, bugs can kind of look like rods.
They
in
can.
people's
They
videos.
can.
So that I'm like, that looked like it went straight in there and it's gone. And
And
then
they're just
I saw that the orb disappeared.
Yeah. Yeah, because if it was a bug or something, you would see it come through the other end. You know, you would
Right.
see it.
And I
And
get
there's
that
nothing.
a lot on my videos, that they'll come up in front of the screen and just disappear. And I was thinking, okay, that's not an out of focus bug. That's not dust. These things
Right.
they're interacting with my videos. And then
Yeah.
this summer, I was able to catch up quite a few bats also flying around that area. So we had bugs and bats and orbs. And so we've got that activity. It's just the other activity is kind of slowed down this summer.
Yeah. Wow. That's really cool. You guys got
Yeah,
some really cool stuff.
Yeah. That
For sure.
in that
Feathers.
file again, like I can't explain that file. There it is.
Yeah, like I said, we don't really know 100%, you know, what it is, or you know, if it's even an orb. I mean,
Right.
that's what we think it is. I mean,
But to me, when they're translucent, you can see behind them. You can see the
Mhm.
stars behind them. So, I mean, that can't be dust or an out of focus bug when you're actually seeing things behind them.
Yeah.
That's just odd.
Well, I got to tell you, you know, I've been doing the paranormal for a long time, and orbs were always my pet peeve.
Mhm.
But you captured some that I can't really explain.
Thank you.
No.
I got to tell you, I'm
Especially where the rod just disappears. That right there I
No.
can't explain, because you should
it's
have
like
seen it.
everything else that we bring out there on our YouTube channel. We're not definitely orb. We're not saying it's a rod. We don't know what it is. I mean, that's just a conclusion
Sure.
that our minds come up with. But I mean, we can't 100% say that it's this or that. It's just unusual, and at that.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
the I can't explain it file.
yeah.
I got one of
The
those.
X file.
So I've
Yeah.
been focusing on these orbs on what's on the inside, because a lot of people are saying, well, take still shots, don't take videos. So I'm trying to go through my old videos and screenshotting them just to see, you know, is there anything on the inside?
Mhm.
So I mean, so far I just know that the translucent, you can see behind. You know, I am kind of seeing some things like, you know, are we seeing things?
Yeah.
You know,
Penny Van cracks me up. She says, I think that orb was twerking.
Yeah. And Jane wasn't even playing any music outside that night.
It was having a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well-
mean, because some people, you know, they really do study these orbs that are caught on video or in pictures, and some people say that they can see faces in them. Now, Chris and I, with pareidolia,
Right.
we can find a lot of things by looking at something. So I myself have not seen something that I could say, hey, that is a picture of somebody, or that's somebody's face, or I
Right.
can't say that.
well,
But-
so far I've
It's
only seen
interesting.
one so far that looks like something could be in it.
That's one you sent to me, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to tell you guys kudos, because I usually throw orbs out, but I cannot do that to yours, to
Wow.
those videos that you gave me or that you just sent that we just
We're
played.
Well, thank
We're
you.
the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to share anything out there that
Yeah.
looks like, okay,
Right.
that's, you know,
Yeah.
that can go either way, or I'm not sure. But if we start seeing something, it's like, okay, I can't explain it. So I
Mhm.
want to share it to somebody
Yeah.
so they can look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you got some that make me go, Okay, here's the other picture of an orb. Okay, what are we looking at here?
Well, let's see if anybody sees any dark shape inside. I'll tell you what I see, and I'm not sure if you're able to blow it up a little more.
I'm not sure how to do that.
The
I
longer
see
you
how
stare
it
at it,
comes-
the more I see
Yeah.
it come in focus.
If you look at the kind of the top, you can see like a cone head. It goes down towards ears. You can kind of see the eye and the mouth. You
Okay.
see the broad shoulders, and it goes all the way down to like a full form. To me, it looks like a Sasquatch sitting inside an orb, driving it around.
That's what Penny Van just said, Bigfoot.
Yeah, and especially if you blow it up, you can see that face, the ears, and you can see a full body. It's like a Sasquatch is in there sitting, driving this orb around, like it's a ship.
Now it could be pareidolia, you know, I
Yeah.
don't know. I mean,
But that's the only one I really blew up and went, oh my gosh, that looks like a Sasquatch head, and the ears, the eyes, the mouth, and then you can
Okay,
even see the
now I'm
broad
seeing it.
shoulders going all the way down.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it
Yeah.
now. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm having to put my hand over the light and I'm looking at it. And as soon as I got it darker and I could see it, I can see exactly what you're saying. It's up towards the top. You can see it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's questionable.
Naomi, she says, I see Curious George.
I mean, it does
Yeah.
look like an ape shape, or I mean, we're saying Sasquatch, but
It looks like an ape or a Sasquatch sitting inside this bubble, driving it around.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
could
that's
it be? Could they just instantly be transforming, into orbs and portals and taking off? We don't know.
Yeah.
I
No.
just know this field is just a field of orbs. I mean, it's crazy out here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. That's really cool though.
I mean, it could be our mind making us see that. I don't know, but that's the only one that even looks like there's something in it. And
Yeah. And honestly, I don't know what, like, I've seen orbs at a haunted location. I've seen orbs at the LBL, with my eyes. So I have no idea what they are. I don't know if they're on the paranormal realm. I don't know if they're Bigfoot or UFO. I have no idea.
Or if the colors mean something different. I don't think anybody knows. Right.
Yeah.
No. I the only thing that I do know, it is a manifestation of energy, and I don't know what that energy is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So
That's all I know.
It could be animals. It could be our past loved ones. I mean, it could be so many different things. I've heard stories of them seeing an orb land in the field and watch ET, Grays walking out. I mean, we just don't know. I don't think anybody really should come out and say, I definitely know.
You could be talking about the Fae. We don't even know that.
Right.
So I don't know. And those are a mystery to me.
It's
They're
strange.
cool.
I love it. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody wants to see it again. So I'm going to play that again here real quick.
I got to cover up the light.
I do see Curious George.
Yeah. And you can see, it's like you can kind of see the arm area and then kind of going down to the little feet. It's like he's just kind of scrunched inside there driving.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're there just hitchhiking for a ride. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know, but when you blow it up, you can really see that face when you zoom in on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the only one so far that I can actually see something on the inside.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool. Poncho says, I think talking about orbs, the color and movement could be based on their energies. Very true. Good point.
Maybe their moods. Don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear about the green and the red, and there's all different colors of it. And some of them are associated with making crop circles, and who knows? If the spirits or energy, and they're making the orbs and traveling, or we've even came up with the idea of talking to the cryptid huntress Jessica. If you're remote viewing, do you show up as energy, as an orb in somebody else's place while you're there?
Yeah. Could these remote viewers, focusing, turning their energy and,
could
moving.
be.
So, I mean, orbs can be so many different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chucky Danger asks, do you ever notice strange colors around the orbs? Brandy was with me. There was about 10 of us, War Criminal in chat. And we all seen different colors, different sizes that same evening. So yeah, I have no idea.
I've only seen one with my naked eye. Most of them are with my ATM binoculars, but the one that I did see, it was underneath storm clouds. And so I know it wasn't a plane or anything, and it wasn't blinking, and it was orange.
Wow.
And it was underneath the clouds and it disappeared.
Yeah. But the ones we seen, they were literally in the hillside in the woods. They weren't up in the sky. And
they weren't just in one spot. They were all around.
They were like circling us. Yeah, it was weird. And the thing too, like with the LBL, there's you got your Bigfoot dogman activity, and then you also, you have your ghost activity too. So I can't say that it wasn't, on a ghost paranormal side of things, that we've seen those orbs that night. There are 237 cemeteries at the LBL. So,
Right.
That's a lot.
You know, when you get into anything that's dimensional or energy, you know, whether you think Sasquatch can use dimensional travel, or you know, paranormal comes through a frequency or a dimension, you know. If an orb is energy, then there's no reason why they can't connect or be part of each other, you know. So it could cross over into so many different fields, and we just don't know the answers.
Yeah,
Right.
that's what I'm saying. It just,
Right.
yeah, it's crazy. Crazy stuff out there that in this world that we live in.
Interesting world.
And I love all of it.
Yeah.
That just brings me back to what I was talking about earlier. You know, if the earth is changing into another dimension or raising its frequency, you know, maybe that's why we're getting all this activity or experiencing, you know, more paranormal at this period, or more cryptid at this period, or orbs in the field, or portals opening up. You know, who knows what's causing all this, but something's definitely changing.
Well, even in the
yeah, I
skies, the last few years, more people are seeing stuff up in the skies. It's not people now. It's more and more people like you guys. You're just now experiencing like, oh my gosh, you know, I'm seeing it. They're blinking. I mean, the activity up there, it's increasing. Why? You know, are they watching us? You know, I wish I knew. I really do. I just know that they are up there. I don't need disclosure by the government. I've seen stuff up there. I know something's up there.
Yeah,
I know.
I knew who they were, what they were, why are they watching? Are they waiting for an event? Something. You know, just like the Milky or the Big Dipper last year, there was tons of activity. Why are they coming in here?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if you go and look at it scientifically, they say that the Earth's axis is actually moving. It is shifting. Which is causing, of course, the melting of the polar ice caps and blah, 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 blah. But this could also throw us into the next ice age, or whatever age they want to bring us into. So that leads me to believe that all this weirdness and, well, let's use the right word, weirdery. Krista, thank you. Thank you, Krista. Weirdery that we are experiencing may have something to do with that. Why all these portals and other dimensions or loopholes or whatever you want to call them are becoming more visible and plain for us to see versus what it used to be. So
if you're a dimensional being, or just even say extraterrestrial even, and the earth is changing, or our axis is changing, or saying we're going to have, you know, you listen, depending on what video you watch, they're talking about mud floods and the Great Reset. We've had resets before on the earth, and they're saying there's another reset coming.
Right.
Yes.
So if you have the ability to go back and forth between dimensions or travel through time and space, wouldn't you come here to experience that?
No, I'd be on the first door open. I'd be like, I'm out.
Oh, I would be just like in an outdoor movie theater, you know, out in the drive-in. I'd be up there in my spaceship watching the earth change and watch what happened.
You know, that's true. If I could watch it from space, absolutely. You know, yeah, I would. But if I'm here on Earth and I've got a portal or something I can jump through, I'd be like, see you later.
Some of them even speculate, you know, that, you know, if like say Sasquatch is dimensional, paranormal is dimensional, that they are part of this and they're coming here to help us or be part of the experience that we're changing one way or another, whether the earth is dimensional or we're going through a great reset. They have a role, people are saying, in this. So that's why we're having more activity.
Yeah. I believe that you're right, Carol. I do, that we're coming in it. We're just on the tip of it, and it's going to happen. Now, it probably won't happen in our lifetime, but I believe that it is really going to happen.
Yeah. Yep.
Because I don't think the earth can sustain the way it's going right now, with you know, the population growing and the environment being hacked down to put up buildings. I don't think the earth can sustain it. So I do think that we're getting ready.
Wow. Well, we are past the hour and a half mark, guys.
Wow. I'm sorry. I'm running my mouth.
We've only scratched the surface of what we could talk about, I guess.
I know.
Right. It's been fun. This has been a fun show. I really enjoyed it. For sure.
Yeah, I
And-
enjoyed it too.
Well, we'll have to have a
Great.
part 2 sometime.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I want to thank Maggie
Yes,
and Ken,
absolutely. Yes.
and I want to thank Paranormal Pixie and Vixen Doe. You guys rock. We definitely appreciate you. And like we said earlier, if you can't do a super sticker, we totally understand. We just appreciate if you just share us out.
Yes.
How-
Yes. We want
to
that
that
1,000 subscriber mark. Bring them on.
Yes. Well, I'm hoping we'll have that before the Dogman conference.
Yeah, we got less than a month.
Yes, we do. We do. So anyway, I appreciate everybody tuning in. Tomorrow night, we have Miss Naomi Finn. She's going to join us tomorrow night, and she's got. I don't know if you guys have watched her. She's been on DAX Machina several times and talked about some of her encounters with a little bit of everything. So I'm excited about that tomorrow night too. So that's going to be a fun show.
That'll be
So
great.
we appreciate everybody, and thank you both, Midwest Night Watchers and
Thank
Chief
you so
Sound.
much.
Well,
We
thank
definitely
you for
appreciate you
asking
guys
us.
coming on,
It's been fun.
Yeah, anytime.
and we'll definitely do this again. And
Awesome.
guys, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Good night.